Hi, it's Lee from the Japanese Water Gardens. I had an interesting conversation with a customer this afternoon, and it's what's inspired me to make this video. It's not going to be a big video, no fancy graphics or anything like that. It's just a quick video about bottom drains. The customer is building a new pond, and he's going to be installing a bottom drain. And that is a really good idea. Putting a bottom drain in your pond is one of the best things that you can do. He was a little bit confused because he was thinking that a 2-inch bottom drain was going to be ideal for his pond. And unfortunately, that's not the case. You cannot run a pond on a 2-inch bottom drain. So I thought I'd make this video and explain why a bottom drain really needs to be either 4-inch or at the very least a 3-inch bottom drain. Some people might tell you that a large diameter pipe will allow lots of sediment to gather in it, that a narrow pipe will keep the solids moving into the filter. Well, it doesn't matter if solids land in the bottom of the pipe, at least they're not floating around in your pond. What the customer was saying was that his pump was operating on 1.5-inch pipe. This 1.5-inch pressure pipe here. And his return from his bottom drain was going to be 2-inch. So as far as he was concerned, the water pipe going back was bigger than the water pipe coming in. So therefore, it must be fine. It will do the job. Unfortunately, no, that's not how a bottom drain works. A 4-inch drain will not block up easily. It will transport water easily into the filter system. When you set up a pond and you run it with a bottom drain, we refer to it as being gravity fed. So the water is trying to find its own level, to maintain its level in the filter system and in the pond. What that means is that the water level in your pond and the water level in your filter are basically the same. And the way that you get flow through the filter is by connecting a pump to the end of it, and that pump returns water to your pond. That then raises the water level in the pond slightly, and the water starts flowing down the bottom drain and fills your filtration system back up with water. If it's a really big pond, then you might need to fit more than one bottom drain. The only reason that the water is flowing down that pipe through that bottom drain is because there's a slight difference in the levels. Excuse me. If this was going to work on this 2-inch pipe, there would have to be a massive difference in the levels to keep up with the pump operating at just a few hundred gallons an hour. A 2-inch pipe, it might be okay if it's an indoor quarantine. Might be. I made a chart on Excel to demonstrate something that's not necessarily obvious. You think about a 4-inch bottom drain. Here's one here. And the surface area on that is about 12.5 inches square. Look at a 3-inch one, and you wouldn't think that there's an awful lot of difference. I mean, that's a 4-inch one, this is a 3-inch one. That's not a lot of difference. The problem is, it is a lot of difference, because when you do the sums on that, you can see from this chart that you've got only 7 inches. So the 12-inch one, or rather the 4-inch one, sorry, has got 12.5 inches squared. The 3-inch one has only got 7 inches squared of opening on the actual pipe. So that's really quite restrictive. A 4-inch bottom drain will take about 2,200 gallons before it starts to struggle to maintain its level. If we look at an 1.5-inch one, we're down to only 1.7 inches of opening. And that means, by my calculations, that it's 7 times smaller than the 4-inch one. 1.5-inch one, practically useless. 2-inch one, completely useless as well. It's just not got sufficient diameter to allow enough water through, unless we're going to accept that there's going to be some big differences in these levels. Your pump will be pulling the water out of the filter faster than it can fill the filter back up. The water level is going to drop down until the pump starts sucking the air in. Then it could get airlocked and the pump could just burn itself out. It's worse than that. If you put a 2-inch pipe out in the bottom of an average pond, it's going to block up with leaves within a matter of a few days. And you're going to have some big problems, because the pump will be taking the water out of your filter system and be trying to return it to your pond, but no water will be able to get down this pipe back into your pond. Regardless of the size of the bottom drain, you should make sure that you fit a purge valve, or at the very least have the ability to flush your pipework into your filters. So I recommend that you use a 4-inch bottom drain, or 110mm. This is a standard one here. It can go on a liner or a concrete pond. This is nice and open. It won't restrict the flow of water, and it won't prevent small solids from passing through and arriving in your filter system. Big solids will easily travel down a 4-inch pipe. You need to use a 4-inch pipe. A narrow pipe like that, even if it could keep up with the flow, it's not going to work. It's going to get blocked up with just a few leaves, and it's going to give you some big problems. A small drain is likely to get blocked up, and that means you're going to have to unblock it by purging it, rodding it, or blowing it backwards or something, but it's not going to work well. So all I'm saying is, if you're choosing a bottom drain for your pond, it's either going to be 4-inch or 3-inch. Using a 2-inch one, that's no good at all. If you was going to do perhaps a very small pond where you could be really confident that there wasn't any leaves or nothing that could block up the pipe, then you might get away with it. But most koi ponds are going to be over 1,000 gallons. Most of them are just not going to be adequately catered for with such a small pipe as a 2-inch or 1.5 inches. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you found it interesting. If you did enjoy it, have a look at some of the other videos that I've made, particularly the one about drum filters. It's one that I did at the beginning of this year, a whole series of videos, and that's got loads of tips with animations explaining how bottom drains work, all sorts of things like that. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Perhaps you could give me a thumbs up or just say hi in the comments. It's bye for now from Lee at the Japanese Water Gardens.